This is a big day for me. I've been waiting for this day for almost 2 years since you made your debut, because once we got Chris Sims, I thought, hey, it's just a matter of time before we get Phil Simms, and we have him today. He's the Super Bowl 21 MVP, still the highest completion percentage of any Super Bowl quarterback. He is Phil Simms, and he joins us now. Phil, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, Mike. Christopher, I'm doing well, too. You woke me up out of a really good sleep. That's one thing. And, look, I always wanted to come on the show, but I wanted to wait till Christopher got comfortable. It just took him 2 years to get comfortable, so now I'm ready.
No, he's not comfortable yet. But
well, you're supposed to say, Dad, we want Mike here in the studio at NBC when we do it. I want to pile it on Mike, but when we're all three together, I think that would be perfect, and we could have a lot of fun.
Yes, me too.
Yes.
I will agree. Thanks. Usually I disagree with my son on a lot of things, but if we're going to do it one day, we all have to be together because I think that just makes it more fun.
Well, we will do that. I'm not moving to Connecticut, but one of the days that I'm up there, we'll get you over to the studio, and we will have a lot of fun. And, Phil, we've had a lot of fun trying to figure out exactly where the NFL is heading with this length of schedule. And your comments from the other day, when I saw the transcript, I did a double take, because you're the first one that I've seen come out with a very clear, strong message that you believe the players want 18 games. I've been conditioned to believe, based on hearing what the NFL Players Association has to say, that players don't want 18 games. So, this is kind of a thing now. It's kind of getting some traction, and we wanted to bring you on and talk a little bit more about it. Just set the stage for why you think that this is something that players ultimately, at the end of the day, will say, we want 18 games.
No, I don't know if they'll say we want 18 games. I probably misspoke a little when I said it. I said I think they will. And, I was having a nice, quiet offseason. Then I said that. Now I got people texting me. The NFLPA Association is sending me messages telling me to shut up and on and on. So but, I look at it many ways. It's coming up in 3 years. It's all about, we know the networks all want 18 games. We know the NFL wants 18 games. I heard you guys yesterday complaining about preseason games. I love preseason football. Last year, I was like, wow, it is so bad that I can't even watch it anymore. But I look at this. If you put it up to a vote, this is why I said it, to the players in the locker room, each player. Now, I don't know. I didn't look at salary caps or anything like that. But if you take, let's just say, the bottom 30 players on the payroll, do you think they don't want a couple more paychecks? And then also look at it this way. If you're the Players Association and the NFL is just beating you over the head, they need these 18 games for many, many reasons. One, because of preseason play, more excitement. Everybody wants it. As you do that, what do the players do? They have an unbelievable bargaining chip. And that bargaining chip, the owners will give up many things. Oh, you don't want to practice as much during the offseason? We'll cut it down to 2 weeks. We'll do this. And I think the players will get a bigger piece of the pie if they decide to go those 2 extra games. Not just normal game checks, but more. More will be put into the players, what they receive and what the NFL receives. So those are just a couple reasons. I know that, I hate to even say it, when I played, I think without question the players go, oh, more money, we're going to go for it. But the money is so big now, I think it changes the equation a little bit. But I just think of that bottom group of players, and I don't know if y'all agree with me or not, they would love to have a couple more game checks each year.
Well, okay, Dad. So now off of that, do you worry about, the guys' future of their careers? Does this take away from that? Is it going to hurt the quality of playoffs? I worry about that we get in the playoffs and, just like the NBA Finals last night, it's Kawhi Leonard limping, it's Klay Thompson out, it's Kevin Durant out, and all of a sudden the quality of play is not as good there. What about that aspect of it?
Well, we're going to have less wear and tear in preseason, off-season, I guess. If you want to, I want to make that argument. Training camps will, be different than they are now. Preseason games where you lose a lot of players, cut those down. And also, and I know, and Mike, I've heard my son say it, well, NFL football, and I say it almost every single year, if you can survive the first 4 or 5 weeks, you're in good hands because the game slows down. when the season starts, everybody's in such great shape. They're as strong and as fast as they're going to be the whole year. And those games, I remember just going, oh, my gosh. That's when we played preseason, too.
Right.
They were just so physical, so fast, and you got beat up so much. But once your body gets in the groove and trained to keep practicing and taking these hits, then I think it becomes less. I don't know if the statistics bear that out. Probably should have looked it up. But it seems to me like less players get hurt as the year goes along. So just another thought. It's not a fact. Usually I like to have facts, but I didn't have time to look it up.
Well, hey, Phil, and here's how I interpret what you're saying, and I agree with it if this is what you mean, that regardless of what the players want, the owners clearly want it. One of the things you said on Chris's podcast the other day resonated with me. When you have an owner come up to you at practice and say, why do you hate us? Why are you so against us? Right? Because they are determined to get to 18. It will not go away, no matter what the Players Association says about not wanting it. I get the impression the league is dead set on getting to 18. And anytime Roger Goodell talks about shrinking the preseason, the deeper message is, yes, and expanding the regular season, we want 18 games.
Well, first off, when a couple high-ranking officials in the league and owners say things to me, and I'm like, what do I say here? I'm kind of caught in the bind because I was pretty strong that I would not want it done for the players. But times have changed, and the biggest thing is, Mike, how much money do you need? What's the answer? You need more. So
more.
That's right, more. And so these players and the owners, everybody involved knows it's bigger. We all know that football is the biggest thing on TV. And here we are, here you guys, for a whole off season, when no games are going on, you're talking about the games and players and all that, the whole off season. Every TV show you turn on still talks about football. So fans, I was at an event 2 nights ago. Boy, I can't wait for the season. What do you think? What do you think? I said, well, let me wait till August to start talking about the upcoming season. And I just think, again, that the bargaining chip the players have, they did a good job last time getting practices turned down, time limits, less time at the facilities during the off season. Some of those things, they'll probably even get more. And I know the coaches will hate it, but you know what the owners are going to say to the coaches? Well, everybody's got the same rules, so just deal with it.
You're right.
And so it's still a long way away. And again, if the bargaining goes the way the Players Association would want it to go, then I just think there's a very good chance it'll happen.
Dad, so players are going to say, all right, 2 more games. You're increasing my injury risk, right? I'm already worn out at the end of the year. You're going to add 2 more games on. After an 8-year career, if you're playing 18 games, it's really a 9-year career for guys this day and age, right? So let's just say, what is the number, Dad? What's the number you think that's going to – if a player's making $1.6 million, what's the number that you think is going to get the players to go, okay, now you've added this to my 1.6, I'll play. I don't think it's just going to be 1.8. I mean, is it going to be double the rate? Okay, what do you think it'll be?
Well, like I said, they have so many things to bargain with, and to get the NFL knows it's going to be making more money, and I don't know about the networks how much more money they can make when it comes to selling and paying for these big bills. But the owners it means more money to them, so they're going to be a little more generous in giving some of that away because they know the extra is coming in.
Yeah.
So if you're making 1.6, I don't know. What would it be?
What would it do for you?
2.1?
Yeah, right.
I think it'll be something of where you just go, wow, that is a lot of money.
Right.
Because let's don't forget, you're thinking about all the guys that make so much money that they don't care. But that's not the way it is with most of the players in the league. They are smart enough to know if everything goes right, I can get a 5-year career out of this.
Right.
And that money is not big, and an extra paycheck or 2 is a big deal to them.
Right.
So that was my argument and one of my reasons. And look, years ago, when I first did a game over in London, one of the first ones, I said, oh, my gosh, there's going to be football over here within 5 years. Well, I was wrong. But I still do believe one day it's coming. And I think this is going to be a very interesting bargaining time for the Players Association in the NFL when it comes up.
Hey, Phil, I got one more question for you. And this is something that I think the NFL will say to the union when it's time to make the case for 18. They will come in with clips. of games played during your era in the 80s on green cement before the rules were changed to make the game safer. I went back and watched just a little bit of a game from 1987, Vikings 49ers NFC divisional round game, and it's astounding how much more brutal the game was. And I think the game really has been made dramatically safer over the last 30 years, and that supports the argument, hey, if we could do 16 under those conditions, 18 under today's rules is a walk in the park.
Well, yes. The game is more spread out now, and, speed is a bigger factor. We played, the game was closer, tighter, but probably more physical. I think I said to my Christopher one day, probably a couple of weeks ago, I said, do you ever remember me getting a roughing the passer call? Did they ever call roughing the passer?
Never.
And I'm almost serious. I'm really serious. You could throw the ball, and the guy would run with it for 10 yards, then you get wiped out from behind by a Reggie White or somebody else like that. I just don't remember late hits. And, of course, some of the hits we took nowadays would be 6-game suspensions if you did it to the quarterback. But, that's the old news. But I think the NFL has done a great job of protecting players, changing rules to keep it going. And, everybody complained, it won't look the same on TV. Man, when I watch it, I still find it as exciting as ever. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But it's 3 years, a long way away. And being in the business, I just hope they come to an agreement where we don't run a football season.
Well, Phil, hopefully it's sooner than 3 years that we have you back on the program. And I look forward to the day that the three of us can do it. I just don't want to be caught between the two of you.
Yeah.
I know what Chris does to me. I figure I'll be getting it from both sides if I'm ever caught between the two Simses.
If you listen to the podcast, I go on and try to get him. That's don't worry about that.
Well, maybe that's good. You and I can gang up on him. I'm talking more about physically, though. Chris likes to lay hands on me. He likes to grab my leg.
He puts those big old mitts. He does it to me, too. I say, look, man, I'm an old man now. Get off of me. So it used to be the day I was the intimidator. Now they walk around me, don't touch me. Don't touch me. I'm in that stage. I'm in preservation mode. Not only that, and when you two do your picks and your lists and stuff, and I love my son, but damn, son, you're embarrassing. You're losing almost every one.
Oh, thanks, Dad. All right, we've had enough of you. Get out of here.
Coming up.
Thanks,
Phil.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.